I remember when as an editor, I first came across the unpublished manuscript of Alex Comfort's pioneering manual, The Joy of Sex. It was fantastic. It would interest you to note that in this earlier version, and in keeping with Alex Comfort's original vision, the drawings were all these dreadlocked nude Sasquatch figures. It was impossible to identify the nature of their genitalia beneath the matted fur, but their parts seemed to be blended in a loose, somewhat cubist portrayal of reproductive organs. But to tell male from female? Impossible. They were just sketches of 7-foot-tall hairy Sasquatch beings licking each other. But this was the early 70s, and such was the fashion. We were a very repressed generation, you see. Not like today where you have more freedoms, and where you are legally allowed to marry a shard of crystal, or even some Cajun music. You remember that mule in Greece who married the alleged remains of Pythagoras? We take these freedoms for granted now, but it was a different time back then. I can't stress enough the importance to my generation of this book. And after reading it, I was energized. Soon afterwards I produced a single sperm, but much larger than any I had ever made. It was more like a limbless albino nude. I held it in my hands and softly cradled it as it died. All white. Pearly. Slick. And with a dumb, emotionless catfish expression that conveyed nothing. But in its simple way there was a sort of serenity in its face.
Yes.
Why am I talking about this?
Father, I don't remember. I asked you for advice on how to deal with the bullies. They threatened me. They said they would give me arthritis.
And that is what I'm trying to get to, Stephen. I was giving you my whole life arc, basically a rounded portrait of the man behind whose advice you seek.
But Father, I don't want arthritis.
And neither do I. Stephen, I'm terrified. Why have you brought this fear into our house?